What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody, back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's daily rap video after a day of, what did he play? God, he played Dark Souls, I think? And then, of course, Smark, or Not So Smark Guys, on the night stream, that's right. And it just wasn't a good day for our boy Phil. Sorry, it just wasn't. Support was just abysmal. Mainly on the Smart Guys podcast, which, it's just slowly dying. It is. It's dying in viewerships, it's dying in support, and so on. So this is a very short daily wrap, so I appreciate that, Phil. It was like 3.5 minutes long. So let's get into it.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Tuesday, the 4th of February, 2025. As you can see, I literally just finished the Smark Guys commentary show. I still have the headphones on and didn't even take them off. Let's do a brief recap of what happened today. First of all, on today's podcast, we talked about various different topics, some chill stuff, building up to a possible marathon later on this week, which I hope that we can do. We had some interesting topics today. For example, one of the topics was, why does Phil only play a variety of games rather than focusing in on one? And we talked about that. We talked about attitudes about me on the internet and all kinds of stuff. It's an insightful podcast. If you didn't see it, check it out. Then,
well, I'll stop it here. It really isn't an insightful podcast. It's not. It's essentially just Phil regurgitating the same bullshit that he's regurgitated for the last 10 years. Where he's not a locale, he needs money, he needs support. There was a huge segment, folks. It was literally like a half-hour segment where the man was trying to convince you that sponsorships are evil, ad revenue is evil. What's good is begging people, being an e-beggar. That's what's appropriate. And the best part of that segment was just to kick chat laying into Phil nonstop. Like, they just went at him. I mean, it was, of course, a lot of them are LARPers, but I mean, just some of the regulars in there were like, stop, this is cringe, please stop. He even went to the extent of trying to, I believe it was a fake tip, where someone fake tipped in and said, hey, why don't you put a plea in for your detractors on the restreams to donate to you anonymously? Really, Phil? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that some dent tipped you that and said, why don't you do a quick segment every day appealing to your detractors to give you money? And you know what the pathetic thing was? Phil actually did that. He stopped this podcast for literally like 6 minutes to appeal to his detractors to give him money. Apparently, this is some new strategy from Ashton, because this came up during the $200 Smart Guys podcast, where PPP and Phil were upset that they were willing to do push-ups, they were willing to show his underwear, they were willing to get Phil to do embarrassing things, but the detractors still didn't donate. And Ashton said, look guys, I'm making Phil do everything you want him to do, why aren't you donating? And I think this is a tack that they're using, and Phil is trying to implore it on his streams now, where he's trying to say, he's trying to use Pignosis. He's trying to say, look guys, you guys watch my content. I know you don't watch it on my channel. You watch it on the Ray streams, or you watch Doody's content, right? But honestly, let's be honest. You're a big fan of mine, and you just don't want to be outcast if you say that you support me. So, you know what? Why don't you do this? Why don't you come and donate to me anonymously? Because you know you want to. And he went on this whole spiel about, oh, I'm pretty sure the detractors have contributed to me and given me money because they support me. That's just utter nonsense. Utter fucking nonsense. Next, he's going to be saying that detractors, he's going to do the Wings thing. Remember when Wings used to say how he had Lummox and Breaking Banquet and he had 007? All of them were paying him so that he wouldn't channel strike them. Remember that whole nonsense, that saga? And he did that to kind of put a riff in between other detractors. Like, oh, look at this guy, he's paying me, which is just bullshit. It's not true. So I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to do some of that. He's trying to get people to, get pignatized and donate to Phil, either as LARPers or just genuine fans. Because trust me, those dollar donations and $1.50 and $2 troll tips, Phil acts like he doesn't like them, but that's money in his pocket. It's money that he's getting and he doesn't care. You know, he just doesn't read them anymore. And yeah, some of them do get charged back, especially if it's someone who's repeatedly giving dollar tips. Um, but he doesn't care because he does walk away with some cash. And he's learned to ignore those. Well, for the most part, he's learned to kind of ignore those troll tips, even though he mentions it's a troll tip like an idiot and still gives them attention. But that's another point. So I think, yeah, Phil is trying to use some type of pignosis on people to get people to donate, to get detractors to donate. And you'll hear this nonsense going forward with Phil and PPP when it comes to supporting their content. Like, just because you hate us doesn't mean you can't support us. No, Phil. We hate you because you're a scumbag. Most people dislike you, Phil, because you are an e-beggar. That's I think the biggest gripe most people have against you is that you're scummy, you're an e-beggar, and you lie for donations. You scam people out of donations. You're about as close as a scumbag televangelist. That's the best thing I can equate you to a very scummy televangelist who goes around and tell his flock that if you don't give me $1,000, Jesus is going to strike him dead. Like that's Phil. That's Phil in a nutshell. But except for Jesus striking him dead, he's not going to be able to take his fat wife to eat a meal. He's going to have to eat ham sandwiches, or he's not going to have enough money to pay the 2 big bills. So let's keep going.
The first stream's gameplay today was Dark Souls 2 with mods. I called it the end game stream because it really was the end game where we got most of through the DLC. Where, in fact, by the end of the stream, we had completed almost all the content. We're right at the end where you have that final stretch and then you finally fight Manus, the final boss. But we did everything. We fought Artorias, Calamy, etc. Good progress there, and it was a great stream. And yes, we hit the funding goal, so we got another streak in there. I think we're now at like 93. We're getting there. We're 7 to the goal of 100, and then the marathon at the end of the week. Tonight was Smark Guys, the commentary show with PPP and I over on DSP Reacts as well as on the Kick channel. And it was good viewership. And we talked first hour, again, just kind of messing around with each other, doing silly stuff, the Grill Phil segment. Then we did the commentary on the Royal Rumble and on Monday Night Raw. The show was fun. It was great, but the support was actually pretty bad. We hit $150 by the end of the night. So obviously, with 2 of us working together, the goal is more than that. We didn't even come close. So next week, what we discussed is we're probably going to just do wrestling commentary, forget the whole segment that's kind of silly drama stuff at the beginning, and see how that works, and hopefully it works better. If we have extra time after the wrestling commentary, then we bring in some silly stuff at the end. Hopefully that will work a little better. But I recommend you watch the show if you want to get our takes on either the Royal Rumble, Raw, or both, and the big build-up to the next pay-per-view Elimination Chamber. Tomorrow, full day of game.
Okay, no one cares about tomorrow, Phil. So I got a good amount to say on this specific subject right here. So Phil mentioned that he said that they're of course low donations, which did happen. Support was just abysmal. And maybe, just maybe, if you and PPP wouldn't browbeat your viewers and your supporters to death, where you don't milk them nonstop, right, and extract as many coins as possible, maybe they would have enough money to support you on these streams. That's really what it is, Phil. These people just are tapped the fuck out. It's the first of the month already, and they've already wasted their government checks on you and Ashton and PPP. They just don't have the money to support you anymore, Phil. That's the issue here. That's a big part of the issue, right? So that's the one thing. Maybe lay off every single day, every single stream, begging people to hit $150 donation goal. And maybe, just maybe, you get whaled out on this Smart Guys show. So that's my first point. The second point here, Phil, is that you guys want to focus on wrestling. That's the plan. We want to focus less on drama and more on wrestling. Phil, no one cares about your... Like, if you go look at your views and you look at where you started doing the drama segment, right? And then you actually moved on to the wrestling segment, you lost about 100 people. You did. You went from about 330 people watching your content for the drama style stuff, which most of it is detractors. And once you started talking about wrestling, people left. I left. I was like, I'm done. I got my clips. I'm done. I don't want to watch anymore. And then near the end, I came back to see if you hit the goal, which you didn't hit the goal. You made like 150. which I mean, you should be happy about. $75 for a night stream for 2.5 hours. Come on, bro. And of course, yes, they did go overtime to try to get that Hail Mary whale tip, which just never came. And you could just see the expression on Ashton's face, like he knows this is a dead project. It is. It's dead because of Phil. No one really cares. Like, no one finds him interesting. No one really cares about wrestling. His takes are mundane. PPP's takes on wrestling are interesting. I do enjoy him here talking about it, but Phil is just boring. I mean, when half of your show is boring, you know, or half of the crew on this show are boring as fuck, you kind of lose interest. You do. So this plan that you have, that you're gonna skip drama content, dude, no one's gonna tune in. I'm not gonna tune in. Why would I tune in? Why do I care what are your takes on wrestling? Most people that watch you, Phil, don't give two shits about your takes on wrestling. They really don't. They don't, Phil. I mean, you need to be aware of this. And also, I don't know why you don't look at your trend line. Phil, you have YouTube Studios. You can go into YouTube Studio, and YouTube Studio will show you where your support came in. And your support mainly came in when when you guys were doing the drama content. After that, you got like another 10 or 15 bucks. I think when you finished the drama segment, which is about an hour and 45 minutes, you were at about $100 in support. And then the rest of the stream, you barely made 50 bucks. So your analytics will clearly show, Phil, that no one cares about the wrestling stuff. They really don't. They don't find it interesting. They're boring. And no one cares. Now, of course, we'll hear the whale call for the next week or so. And maybe some of the kick dents will come in and drop some big cash. But that's what this show is. This show averages 250 to 300 viewers. Most of them are just fucking LARPers. I mean, it's pathetic when Raw Phil gets like 800 people on his stream. And Phil can barely crack 250. It's just detractors watching it and making fun of you. Half of the kick chat was just laughing at Phil and making fun of him. And then when they got into wrestling conversations, most of them bounced. They found it boring. So did I. So I'll give it a chance next week. Let's see what they do. Let's see if they continue this course. But I'm pretty sure it'll fail. Give it a couple more streams. And this will be yet something else Phil Wage quits. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy the video. Peace out.